Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have a brand new episode in our card spotlight series in which I look at a card that I feel is underplayed or underappreciated in Commander and discuss its merits. But before we do that, just a quick reminder to please click subscribe if you enjoy these videos. It's the only way the YouTube algorithm really notices me, and we're currently growing the channel and it helps me a lot. Much appreciated. And today we're going to be talking about Thalia and the Gitrog Monster, a new legendary from the upcoming March of the Machine set. And this one is super cool because it's two characters that are very beloved by the community and that you would never have expected to see together. The Gitrog Monster is one of the coolest commanders ever, and Thalia, obviously as a story character, is really interesting. So anyway, this card reads 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 black, 1 green for a 4/4 legendary creature, human frog horror, great creature type. It has first strike and death touch, and you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped, and whenever Thalia and the Gitrog Monster attacks, sacrifice a creature or land, then draw a card. So this is a super cool one, but it's incredibly difficult to build around because it does absolutely everything. You got a little bit of hate, you got a land matters theme, you got the first strike and death touch, which can be relevant. So I feel this is probably one of the best, if not the single best, Abzan commander we've ever seen. It dominates combat and basically cannot be ever stopped with first strike and death touch. It gets to hate on your opponents, so even if they could put up defenses, they're gonna come in tapped, which means that it's much easier for you to hit with it. And then the other two mods are just gravy. Playing an extra land every turn is obviously really good, and getting to draw a card by sacrificing a creature or a land when you attack is gravy on top. So how would we go about building this? Well, the first thing we could try to build around is the first strike and death touch. So because of that combination of abilities, this is a fairly good Voltron commander. It's going to be very difficult to block, which means you could build that way by putting a lot of enchantments or artifacts on it and making sure that you get through. But that's the part of the card that we can build around the least. Let's move on to the next part. You may play an additional land on each one of your turns, so that's going to give you ramp. So obviously you want to have a lot of ways to draw cards because you want to be able to have sufficient lands in hand so you can use this ability every turn. You're going to need a lot of card draw for that. Probably any effect that's going to put multiple lands into your hand is going to be particularly good in this deck, so any kind of effect that says reveal the top X cards of your library, put all lands into your hand and the rest into your graveyard is going to be fantastic here. You could also build around landfall. We are missing red, but we still have green and white, which are pretty good landfall colors. The third part of the card is where it gets really interesting. You can make it kind of stacksy by putting in cards that affect tapped creatures, since all of your opponent's creatures are going to come in tapped. You could even get really nasty and put cards that stop things from untapping, such as Winter Orb, but I don't really recommend that unless your playgroup is ready for it. And finally, for the last part of the card, we can build around cards that want lands to go into the graveyard. So anything that you would normally put into a Gitrog Monster deck is going to be really good here, of course, including Gitrog Monster himself. But we can also include creatures with death triggers or token generators so that we can sacrifice those tokens to just draw extra cards. This is just an absolute boat of value, and there's just so much to love about this card and so much to build around. I think it's definitely immediately going to become the best Abzan commander, and I look forward to having trouble deciding what to cut from this deck. So there you have it. That has been our card spotlight for today. What are your thoughts on this card? Let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!